Hello and welcome this evening. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Good evening, good evening. Hey, Miss Bridget. Good evening, good evening. How's everyone doing? Hey, Just Be Real. How are you doing? Give me 50 minutes. Give me 50 minutes, Just Be Real. Hey, Marcy, how are you? Great to see you too. Well, great to read you. Hey, Robin. Hey, Rhonda. Miss Angel, how are you? Julie, how are you doing? Australia, hey. From down under. Hey, Riri and Doreen and Free Indeed. Hey, Miss Dawn. Hey, Miss Luba. How are you doing this evening? Let's see, Anna and daughter. Thank you, Just Be Real, DK and Taylor and Timma and who else we got here? Christine and Raquel. How are you? You're welcome. Blue ASMR eating. All right, I'm gonna check out your Facebook page. I mean your YouTube channel. See what you be over there doing. Oh, you finally got free? That's what I'm talking about. The hidden queens. Girl, you ain't hidden no more. Jasmine and Justina. Hey, Mary, how are you? Colorado. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Cotton Candy. And that's to you, Blue ASMR. ASMR. There we go. Gina. Oh, it's been a while. Well, here we go. Hey, Stevie. Holla. Hey, it's showtime. How are you? You're welcome. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Pastor Ali. Hey, Sharice. How are you? Let's see. Who did I miss? I miss anybody? You just, oh, you used to do AMSR eating. Oh, okay. 'Cause I sure watch. It's very interesting. Something soothing about hearing people eat. I don't know why. Hey, from New York, Mama Wolf. Oh, thank you, Miss Angel. Trying to stay safe in the wildfires in California. Oh, yeah, you stay safe. Hey there, Michelle. Is that SS? I did a video on the illnesses caused by, well, it's not called, well, it's caused by stress. It's caused by stress. Let's see, Love for Truth, Bonnie Sapphire. Let's see, who else? Patricia for Sacramento. You are so welcome. That's what I'm talking about. You're free. Yes. Millie and hey, Kim. Pastor Ali, such an honor and a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Gina and Macy and Nadia. Guten Tag to you too. From Sydney. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Telsha, how are you? I ain't seen you in a minute. How you been doing? Okay, Just Be Real. You got to tell Telsha what time I'm on. You got to tell her so she can keep up with you. You know, Telsha have rubbed off on her. Thank you so much, American woman. Thank you so much. 48 minutes. Okay. Telsha, you got 48. I got 48 minutes. Okay. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Minnesota. That's what I'm talking about. Daughters have been really needing some help on tips on dealing with some hyperventilation from my narcissist abuse that's caused hell and a lot of trauma. You got to find a therapist to do that. You got to find a good trauma therapist. See, Just Be Real, you know, rubbed off on Telsha. Longview, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, Bonnie. I appreciate you. Hey, Ricky Lynn, how are you doing? Ruby, hey there, how are you doing? Thank you. Breathe. You want me to breathe? I have some tea. One of the kings told me to make sure because I always clear my throat while I'm talking to get tea. So I have some tea. I got tea. Normally I'm a coffee drinker, but I got tea. Go ahead, Ricky. Congratulations. She got her a place. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, G. Let's see. That sounded real gangster, didn't it? Hey, G. Hey, Mr. Greg. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Phoenix, Arizona. That's what I'm talking about. Congratulations, Greg. Hey, Nicole. Oh, you new to the chat? Well, welcome. Cute mug. I know somebody gave it to me. Let's see. I'm needing advice on no contact and when we go to the same ministry, good and bad days. Need some advice on, okay. Advice costs. That requires you to come and contract with me, and then I give advice and I talk to you guys coaching. Here I just talk about general stuff. North Phoenix here. Hey there, Lynn. How are you, Mimi? And Martha, how are you? Facts Uncensored. My twin flame is a narcissist. Oh, wow. That's bad. Phoenix. Hey, Letitia, how are you? How are you doing? So glad to have you guys here. How many of you guys are on my Facebook page? How many of you guys are a part of my Facebook page? You've been with me for a while? Thank you, Miss Nicole. Oh, thank you. And this Shanita, oh, wait a minute. Shani talk to me. Okay. He went to church today. Yup, they'll come back around. Hey, Coco Latte. Let's see, who's that? Hey, Kelly, how are you? Dirty South. That's what I'm talking about. What's my Facebook? I have two Facebook pages. One is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. That's a really long tongue twister. It's my professional page. And the other one is my book page, which is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. And I'm going to answer three. I'm not going to answer three questions from you guys. I'm going to answer three questions that were sent to me. And then I'm going to open it up for you guys to ask me questions. First question that was asked, the first question that was, well, I read the question. It was three questions. One question was, is it possible that a narcissist can have dissociative identity disorder? In other words, it was formerly called multiple personality disorder. And the answer is yes. Narcissistic personality disorder is what used to be an axis 2. They don't use the axis anymore, but it used to be an axis 2. It's a personality disorder. And multiple personality or dissociative identity disorder. Both of them are usually, so narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder usually develops from trauma. Sometimes it's environmental. Sometimes it's how a person has been groomed. They've been raised to be a narcissist by narcissistic parents, or have been raised to be a narcissistic, a narcissist. But they can have other disorders. They can have schizophrenia. That is true. They can have schizophrenia. They can have autism. I've met many of people that are on the higher end of the autistic spectrum, like Asperger's. We call Asperger's. That's the higher end of the higher functioning of the autism, and they also have dissociative disorder. I've met people that have have autism. Autism on the higher end, which is the Asperger's and narcissistic personality disorder. I've met people that have developmental delays, autism and narcissistic personality disorder, and some brain damage, developmental delays and narcissism, then major depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and of course, people can have multiple personality disorders, or what was termed as, it's called dissociative identity, DID. We call it DID. It's called DID. Yeah, they can have bipolar too. Bipolar 1, bipolar 2, they can have bipolar as well. An individual that has narcissistic personality disorder purposely mirrors another individual. They watch them, they mimic them, they mirror them, and they take upon their characteristics. So if they have a lot of sources of supply, what they do is they mimic whomever they're with. Sometimes they forget who it was they were mimicking, and they'll slip up, just like anybody that may be cheating, may slip up and call somebody the wrong name, but they'll slip up and forget what character they were playing at that particular time. But they play a character in whatever relationship or whatever person that they're connecting to, and they purposely do it. They think about it, they purposely act, they purposely dress, they purposely do it. So this is something that's well thought out, and they play this role. That's why they have to give like different code names, or call everybody babe or boo or honey or sweetie or whatever, so that they don't mess the names up, and they compartmentalize. I did a video on that. A person that has dissociative identity disorder, usually what happens is that a severe traumatic event has happened. A lot of times, most people that have, if you study it, most people that have DID are people that have been severely sexually abused in childhood, where their minds fragmented, their mind split and their minds fragmented. And when their mind fragmented, it created distinct personalities, totally different personalities with totally different lives. And some personalities don't know that the other personalities exist. So one personality, there's a main personality, the core personality, and there it's almost like each one of them play a role in their life. You have the businessman, you have the professional businessman, you might have a businesswoman, you may have a housewife, you may have a soccer dad or a basketball dad. So it doesn't matter what sex they are, male, female. One can be homosexual, one can be lesbian, all in the same body. It could be it could be one gender, but each personality has its own distinct life, and they come out to do certain things to operate in. Thank you, Telsha. To operate and function in life. Now, one personality may have major depression and take antidepressants. When they switch over, it may be another personality that smokes a cigarette. It might be another personality that actually has narcissistic personality disorder. You may have another one that may have borderline personality disorder. So each one of those personalities, they're very distinct. They're totally different. And I think I explained to you guys that the one time that I saw it one time in my office, and hey, Miss Kamira, and what happens is not something that you see very often, but once you see it, you'll never ever think that it doesn't exist. Because most of the time that, most people don't believe that did exist. But I actually witnessed it one time. And it was a lady that came to my office when I was working for an agency. And when I came out into the hall to come get her, she talked like an adult woman with a little tiny voice, with an adult woman, and she was talking to her daughter. As she was walking down the hallway, I met her as she was walking down the hallway. She sounded like a little girl, but I didn't think anything about it. But the way that she was talking, she actually sounded like a little girl, like a 9-year-old. And as I said, I wasn't thinking about that. I didn't really think about it. So we got in the office, and when we got into the office, I was facing her sideways and I was doing my notes. And as I was talking to her, her face, she looked down and she looked up, and her facial features changed. Her facial features had changed from when I walked her in the door. And I said, this is not possible. I don't believe this. And so I spoke to my supervisor, and my supervisor looked at me and she said, you saw it too? And she's been in the mental health field for many, many years. And she said, most people don't believe it exists. She said, the psychiatrist that I worked for, she also saw it one time. She says, but if you saw it, she says, it exists. She said, because most people will think you're crazy. It doesn't exist. And I told her, I said, I saw it. And she said, you saw it too? I said, yes, I saw it. And so it was very distinct. The facial feature changed. The only way a person's facial features and bone structures can change in their face is if they get surgery. There's no possible way, no humanly possible, their face can change features. This woman looked up and her whole features changed. And I said, there's no possible way, and this was when I realized that she had multiple personalities. She had DID. And so that is the answer to that question. Now, whether she had narcissistic personality disorder or not, I don't know. But yes, narcissists can have other, problems, and especially DID. The second question that was asked was, am I a minister? Yes, I am a minister. Someone keeps asking me the question. Yes, I'm a minister. I'm a licensed minister. I am under the auspices of Apostle Helen Sadler. That's my mentor, and that's the senior pastor. I'm a part of the ministerial team for Into His Chambers Global Ministries. I am. I think the third question was, do I speak on other platforms? I do. I use YouTube as a professional clinician. Everything that I do is not narcissist abuse. I do this on the side, and I talk to you guys, and I do speaking engagements, but not all my speaking engagements deals with narcissist abuse. Some, a lot of them do deal with domestic violence. A lot of them do deal with ministry. Ministry. And when I come on YouTube, I stay on the clinical side of the house, because I reserve that for my pastor to talk about it from a biblical perspective. She's been in the field much longer than I have, obviously, many, many years, long before I even thought about going into church. And so she does speak to the viewers from a biblical and spiritual perspective about narcissist abuse, and I stay clinical on YouTube channel. And the reason why I ask if you guys are on my Facebook page, on my professional Facebook page, which is psychological health consultants and services, I usually try to reserve that for the professional. I do post my mentors videos on there for the whole concept. But I do, I reserve that for the professional, when we're doing education like this, I do, and I post that on my professional site. If you guys go over to Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, I did post where I was on a panel with Miss Bridget Griffin, who is a domestic violence advocate, and other professionals, other psychologists that are also Christians and also ministers. And we discussed domestic violence and what we do from a Christian perspective. And if you go to Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, I did put the video there for you. I put the video there for those that are on Overcoming Narcissist Abuse on that Facebook page. I put it there so you can see the other forums that I speak on. And I was not the speaker. I was on a panel with other professional women for it was a domestic violence coalition within the church and in the community, and we were Christian professionals that have been through domestic violence, and we discussed, why we chose the field that we did. So some of you have also asked, what is my story? I did tell my story. Briefly, I told my story, and I didn't go into detail, but I did tell my story and why I began doing this type of work. So if you would like to know some of my story, you're welcome to go to Overcoming Narcissist Abuse Facebook page. And if you like it, you go, it's one of well, this will be the next video that's posted, but it is one of the videos that I recorded of all the panelists that are up there, and each one of us having the opportunity to speak as a professional, but from our belief, so those of you that are interested, you are welcome to go over there and look at that. So now that I've answered those, it was 3 questions. You are welcome to ask me. Thank you so much, Arlene. You are welcome. Hey, Yareli, I hadn't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Hey, Wileen. Hey, Miss Jessica. So you are welcome to ask me any question except for my age and my phone number. You ready? Hi, Molly. How are you? It's showtime. And Steph, okay. Stephanator. Okay. And Terry. Okay, we got it. Okay, so let's see. Jennifer said, can substance abuse also accompany personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder? They can have anything. They can have drug addictions. They can have alcoholism. Each individual person is an individual person. So whatever they have additional problems doesn't mean that all of them may have drug or alcohol or substance abuse problem, but some of them do. A lot of the overt ones that are, a lot of them can. A lot of the overt ones do, that are on the lower end of the narcissistic spectrum, the ones that are still kind of out of control. But they can have a substance abuse problem. Mr. Willeen said, I've seen it in a relative who we avoided, ex-con. My granny said they were his demons. Of course, later in the medical field, learned that this was multiple personality disorder, aka DID, right? Is definitely unforgettable. Yes, once you've seen it, once you've witnessed it one time, it really exists. Because I didn't really believe it. When you watch it, watch videos and stuff, you're like, oh, I don't know. But when you see it firsthand as a clinician, and a lot of people never get the experience, but once you witness it firsthand, you'll never, ever forget it. I never forgot it. And I saw it and I said, this is impossible. People would not believe me if I tell them what I saw. The Polly, what is some of your story? Could you give us a brief explanation here tonight? I'm not on Facebook. You got to come over to Facebook. See, you got to come over to Facebook. See, if you go, you don't even have to be a part of Facebook. You can just go and look. It's open to the public. You can go look. I'm doing great, Jonay. How are you doing? Miss Kamira said, check out her book too. It is really eye-opening. Thank you. Hi, Miss Shelley. Have you ever dealt with a dying narcissist? I have not. I have not dealt with a dying narcissist, but I did make a video on sick and dying narcissists. It's in a video. Yeah, well, one of the videos on here, not on here, but on YouTube. It is. I have a video I did talk about. I think two of them. I think both of them were live, where I actually told somebody asked me my story. I gave some of my story. Truth is stranger than fiction. Stevie, you on a roll. Hey, Mr. G. What should I do about ex's children who still contact me for advice because their mother is controlling? I mean, if you have a relationship with them, you have a relationship with them. You know, if your relationship doesn't hurt them or get them in trouble, or I mean, what can you do? They're reaching out to you. They're reaching out to you. You might be their, their place of comfort. So I mean, unless it's gonna cause you problems or cause them problems, I wouldn't. I don't see why you can't, continue talking to them. What is the best therapy help for someone actively living with a narcissist? You can go to BetterHelp.com / Dr. Carmen if you would like to find like an online counselor, and look for a trauma professional. You may want to look for a trauma professional. My suggestion to you, because if you are actively living with a narcissist, you are actively living domestic violence. I would make sure you connect with a narcissist. I'm not a narcissist, but a domestic violence agency, the YWCA, or domestic violence agency that has, they have support groups, they have educational groups to teach you about domestic violence, because that's what narcissist abuse is. It is domestic violence. And get you more education, educate yourself. They'll connect you with counselors as well to help you, because you have to make a decision. Do you want to stay and keep getting abused, or would you like to would you like to escape your hellhole that you're in? Because obviously you are going through hell. Let's see. Stephanator said, I had a rough week due to my NPD mom over the phone, especially on my birthday. Still feel so crushed and not sure how she did it this time. Oh, they'll find a way to do it. They will find a way to do it. The second you extract them from your life, chaos fades. No contact clears the fog in your mind. The no contact helps to clear that fog in your mind. A lot of you are just walking around almost like confused in a daze. You don't know whether you're the narcissist or they're the narcissist, because they pick out, you done picked up some fleas. So you done picked up some narcissistic traits, because you're fighting the narcissist the way that they're fighting you. So anything that you can say about the narcissist, they'll turn around and say right back to you, because you ended up mirroring them. While you're in the relationship, you do think about it. Even if you're not in a narcissistic relationship, 9 times out of 10, you'll begin to kind of mirror, the person that you're dating or the person that you're married to. You guys will have a lot of things in common because you've been together for a while. So imagine in a narcissistic relationship, where one is a narcissist, you pick up some of their traits. So a lot of you are coming out and you're looking at yourself, you're reading, and you are so concerned that you may be the narcissist, or the narcissist told you that you were the narcissist, and you're really worried. You're getting anxious about the fact that you could be the narcissist. If you're that be like this, you're probably not a narcissist. You probably do not have narcissistic personality disorder. You may have post-traumatic stress, you may have complex post-traumatic stress, but being in a relationship for a long time, even I had narcissistic traits. Most of us have narcissistic traits, but when you've been in a relationship with a narcissist for so long, it is almost like those traits are highlighted, but that does not mean you have narcissistic personality disorder. Let me see. Did I miss something? Let's look. Blue ASMR said, I picked up the traits and it makes me feel so crazy. And this is from a coworker that bullies me in private and drains my energy and reminds me of my childhood trauma. See? Think about it. If you're going through post-traumatic stress, how are you going to fight back? 9 times out of 10, you'll start fighting back like them to try to hurt them the same way they try to hurt you. And especially a person that's going through post-traumatic stress or has post-traumatic stress or complex post-traumatic stress, you probably handle people. You're guarding yourself. And so a lot of times the way that people guard themselves is by being mean or cruel to other people. It's almost like, I'll hurt you before you hurt me. Or, some of the things that you say. And a lot of people are very bitter, very, very bitter, very, very angry. And so a lot of times things that people say will trigger you because that sounds like something the narcissist said. And it may not be that the person is also a narcissist. It just may be that you're triggered by something someone says. And that's not what they meant. They're not, they're not abusing you. But when you have been abused, and when you have been abused and in chaos so long, and that's all you ever know, a lot of times you also self-sabotage. You get into relationships and friendships, and you end up self-sabotaging because you don't want, and I said this because you don't want people close to you, first of all, but I've said this too. You get some peace and quiet, you don't know what peace and quiet is because you have always walked around on eggshells. And so you get a little peace and quiet, peace and quiet becomes scary to you because it's almost like a Stephen King or a horror movie. It's too quiet, something is going to happen because that's all you've ever known. That narcissist has always created an environment to keep you on edge. That's that trauma bonding. That's how they trauma bond you. Anytime you have a little peace, they're going to come and disrupt your peace. They're going to come and you're always walking on eggshells. So they're always going to come and disrupt that peace. Meaning that when you do have peace, you're always expecting, that's that hypervigilance. You're always expecting something, that fight, flight, or freeze. You're always expecting something to happen. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And people are like, nothing is going to happen. You're okay. Something is always happening. And this person is in your mind. These echoes are in your mind. Something's going to happen. Something always happens. They always do this. Something always happens because you are probably reliving your trauma through post-traumatic stress. That is what is happening. What happened to all the comments over here? Okay. So Rick Hansen says, we would not know the word and the mythology accepting the forced false mythology taught. All right, that went over my head. And Stormy Boot says, we empaths can't do Facebook or social media. We love to share too much. Some don't, though. Some empaths don't share too much. And you have a lot of empaths on Facebook. You can't be general. You got a lot of empaths on Facebook. And some of them have learned, just because you're an empath doesn't mean that you never learned boundaries. Mother Teresa was a super empath. You have people that are empaths that are doing great things for the community, feeding the homeless, building homeless shelters, spending their money on doing things to help the community. And so empaths can learn proper boundaries and all the comments came at one time. They were all held up. I don't know what happened, but empaths can find balance. They can find balance, and it just becomes a struggle. It's like a recovering addict. It's a constant struggle because of the fact that you are an empath. You are an empath, and your heart is just golden. And empaths, you're gonna help people. You are gonna root for the little man. So you can find balance. Don't think you can't. You're not always right. You're learning who you are. You're learning who you are. Ms. Letitia said, I just divorced my narcissistic husband after 11 years of marriage and 16 of being with him. I've gone no contact with him, just allowing him to have access to emailing me in regards to our son. I changed my phone number and it is driving him crazy. He has no control. His new primary source is a flying monkey. Oh, wow. Shelly said, why don't more marriage counselors know more about this disorder? I think it's buffering. Hold on, you guys. Give me 1 second. Let me check my connection. You guys. Okay. So connection is all right. Facebook, you guys still there? YouTube, you still there? Okay. The network came back up. I don't know what's going on. You guys still there? Facebook, you guys still there? All righty. Okay, Michelle, I'm going to answer your question. Your question was, why don't more marriage counselors know about this disorder? Okay, so when counselors go to school, go to school and they learn, it's called assessment, diagnosis, and treatment planning. So assessment, diagnosis, and treatment planning. YouTube, you guys still there? But it's assessment, diagnosis, and treatment planning, where you're learning about the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorder. It's a psychiatric manual of mental health disorder and how to diagnose. You do learn the symptoms of all the disorders. I'm sorry, I think I have a bad connection tonight. But we are taught how to diagnose. What are the symptoms to each one of the diagnoses? And so when the therapist goes into the field for a practicum or for like when we do our internship, so we can see what these diagnoses look like and what does the person look like. However, we're taught about domestic violence, but we're not taught about domestic violence and what it looks like to be abused by, or how people with this disorder relate to people, loved ones or the general public. So a person that is, for a person that is interested in domestic violence, you're beginning to see, a lot of the things that you guys say when we talk about it, the symptomology and everything fits the symptomology or the category of narcissistic personality disorder. And so in school, I think it does need to be added, as a part of domestic violence training. What does it look like? What do people, because it says it, but nobody knows what it looks like played out. I'm sorry, you guys, this ponytail is really distracting me. Okay, let me get it right. Okay, but so that we're not taught in school the domestic violence part and what it looks like for an individual that has narcissistic personality disorder. What does it look like for them to interact or to be abused by it? It's just recently people beginning to realize that the people that they're dealing with, how these people respond. So you do have like the social psychologists, you have the clinical psychologists that are studying the disorder to figure out how to treat it. Then you have social psychologists, you have advocates, you have coaches, you have people that are studying helping the victims and the survivors of abuse and how they were being abused. And it just recently, as people start talking, like this person has this trait, this trait, this trait, this trait, this person has this symptom, and this symptom. And what ends up happening is we're able to go like, wow, these are the symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder. They're studying it, they're watching how people respond, so it's not something that's really in school. It's really not taught on an academic level. What happened to my Facebook people? Not my Facebook people. What happened to my YouTube people? Are you guys still there? If someone wants everything on their terms, is that a sign of narcissism? No, that's a sign of a selfish individual. That doesn't mean necessarily that that they're narcissistic. Where are the people on YouTube? Y'all talk to me. Where you guys at? You guys still with me on Facebook? Okay, still here? Okay. I don't know what's happening over on YouTube. Can somebody over here on Facebook go look on YouTube and tell me what it's doing over there so I know how to fix it? Thank you, guys. Thank you, YouTube. Can somebody just go over to YouTube real quick and just tell me what's happening over there on YouTube? Because I don't know. There's no comments. I'm not getting any comments, but I'm still on. I'm still on, but I have no idea what's going on over there. I don't see the comments coming. It looks fine. Luba, go over there and say something and see if a comment comes up. Hey, Ms. Linda, how are you? Let's see. Ms. Luba said, the first appointment I had with a trauma counselor insisted there was no such thing as narcissistic personality disorder. I got up and left the appointment early. No point in staying. You are welcome to go look at the DSM. In the DSM, there is narcissistic personality disorder. So I don't know what kind of counselor that is or where the license come from. That's a part of the test too. We get to learn about personality disorders. Letitia said, can you people repeat? Okay. Can you people repeat your response? I didn't hear anything because of the interruption. I'm not sure. So YouTube is still on? You asked the same question. Can you see my comment on YouTube? No, I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. I don't see anything. Okay. I don't know if YouTube is still there. I'll try to go and restart the video, okay? I'm gonna restart the video over here, okay? Let me restart over here.